लिंक भेज दिया उनको, बोलिए चेक करें अपना मेल, मैंने भेज दिया वो मैंने।
The session is live on YouTube, so just we should move to the backstage.
There is a on your right, you can see there is a enter package right.
Namaste, Ilaji.
Namaste.
Namaskar.
How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
I'm in
Nice.
Haridwar at present. I'm joining from Haridwar.
Haridwar. Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So you've gone for a pilgrimage.
My daughter had a conference here, so I just
I
joined
see.
her.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So currently, you are at which place?
I'm in California.
You're in California. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Which place in California?
I'm in Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale. Okay. My younger daughter is in SFO.
Oh, very close by, just half an hour.
Yes, exactly.
Just half an hour away from where we are.
So now it must be a very odd time for you. Hmm?
It's not very
It's
odd. It's 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Yeah,
Good.
10 p.m. is not very odd, but yeah, later in the day it'll get more odd.
Yes, yes, yes,
It'll get
yes.
midnight.
Actually, we are live, so all our talks are going there.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good.
Deepika Didi, you can start PPT.
We have 3 more minutes, no?
Yes.
Yes, Suzy.
So how about Geeta Didi? She could not join.
Geeta Didi, I don't know what has happened. She
link?
is unable
He's
to
not
join.
finding link.
No, so we can send the link through WhatsApp if possible. Okay, through WhatsApp it will not go that way. But again, no. So as a backup, we have Anita Mane Didi. She is available. Yeah,
Yeah, she was there.
yeah. So she can be there now.
She was there. I saw her some time back.
Please modify the PPT
She's
account.
there.
Geeta Didi
Should
is
I
not.
modify? Should I modify?
You unhide the slide for.
Okay, I'll do that. Yes, Didi.
Kumarji, just send me the latest, the final PPT again on WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'm sending.
Okay, shall we start now?
I think it's time and we can begin.
Okay. Namaste everyone. I am Mahesh Kore. Warm welcome all panelists and delegates across the world. As you know, we are participating in the International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. The theme of conference is value-based education for humane society, including SDGs. Here there are 3 panels in special interest group, holistic value-based education, the another is holistic human age health, and addressing SDGs at the root. This is the panel of discussion on holistic value-based education. Now I welcome Ms. Lipika Mitra to share UHV point of view. Yes, welcome Ms. Lipika.
You have to introduce her. Please introduce Lipika Didi.
Okay. Dr. Lipika Mitra, she is a director of Bhushala and parent coach. She's done BE Electrical Engineering from Government Engineering College, Bilaspur, and she has been actively involved in universal human values since 2023. I welcome Dr. Ms. Lipika Mitra.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Namaste, everyone. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. This is the panel discussion on holistic value-based education. And we have categorized this discussion into 3 parts to have a focused discussion and a definite outcome. These categories are need, vision, and implementation. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the need for holistic value-based education. First, I will briefly present the viewpoint about the need for such education. A part of it has already been addressed during the keynote address. Then we will open the forum for panelists to discuss on the same. And then we will welcome the questions from the delegates. All right. So let us begin with the viewpoint of the need for holistic value-based education. Now, as we look back on our lives, we all had certain aspirations. Have we achieved everything we set out to? Perhaps we have, and even more than we initially imagined. However, if we pause and ask ourselves, am I living a truly fulfilling life today? The answer often isn't an unequivocal yes. So despite all our progresses, the technological advancement we have made, the growing infrastructure, the comfort and all of that, there's still something seems to be missing. And that's what the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations is trying to bring the focus onto. And if you look at the goals for a better world, there are 17 such goals that UN has come up with. These are the good health, quality education, responsible consumption and production, sustainable communities, peace, justice, to name a few. And if you look at the Constitution of India, it clearly envisions a society which is based on justice, equality, liberty, fraternity. You see, there are several committees that have been formed in India that has talked about making education value-based. So unless we have values at the core, we try to focus only on skills, education is not going to serve the need of the society. We are not going to have that just and equitable society as also envisioned in NEP 2020. And if we read the vision document of AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education, UGC, the University Grant Commission of India, they all talk about promoting human values through education. So leading to the NEP 2020, it says that it is imperative to address, to appreciate the different approaches and achievements which has been made so far, and how we can be complementary to fill this gap. And NEP 2020 was another step towards filling this gap. So we can see that the need for human values is felt globally, and education across the globe have been making effort for it. We're trying to get this message further by trying to introduce human value across the country. And I'm happy to share that AICTE, the governing body for technical education in India, has made very significant efforts towards implementing the value education across the country. We will talk about it in more detail when we discuss about the implementation of holistic value-based education in our upcoming sessions. Now, if we look at education, there is clear priority of values over skills, and education has the responsibility to facilitate what to do and then how to do. That is, what is valuable as a human being is one important aspect, and that is what is called as value education. Learning how to do comes later. We acquire the skill, we learn technologies, we conduct research, and we try to add more and more skills to support what we find valuable. So both are important, but we are saying that value education takes the higher priority. And that's what we are possibly able to see, that unless the education is value-based, we are not going to solve the problems of the society. If you recollect the keynote address, there were several examples that were taken. One of the examples I remember was the Green Revolution, the Industrial Revolution. If you look at that, the purpose, which is what to do, part of this Green Revolution, should have been free of hunger and the health of the human being. But if you closely see, we are not there yet. Rather, the health of the human being has been sacrificed, if I may say so. So education has the responsibility to facilitate both understanding what to do, which is part of value education, and then learning how to do, which is part of the skill education. The priority we are proposing is of value education over skill education. Now, if you look at the present approach of our education system, there is a strong emphasis on learning the skills, and there is no focus on gaining right understanding or gaining the capacity to live with fulfillment in relationship. And when you talk about right understanding, one of the important aspects is to understand human being. And when we try to understand human being, we see that human being is coexistence of self and body. And human being is not just the body. Through skill education, we generally try to work upon the physical facilities, the material things that takes care of the body. The core focus is to develop new technologies, and through that, more and more production, accumulation, and consumption is in the focus. Our processes are not sustainable, and we're not able to see the limit for how much physical facility is required. And therefore, we are not even able to utilize the physical facility rightly. And that's why we can see there are pollution, there are resource depletion, and a lots of other global menaces. This is a very precarious situation because the entire focus of our present approach has become skill-centric, rather value deficient. But when you have a solution-centric approach, then we start working for value-based skill education. So we will, of course, learn skills. We will go for research, products, new technologies, but at the core would be the right understanding. So when we go for value-based skill education, then we try to ensure right understanding in every child, the capacity to live in relationship with other human beings, and also the capacity to understand the need for physical facility. And then we try to acquire the skill and practice through sustainable processes of more than what is required, doing the right utilization of what has been already produced so that we can ensure prosperity. Prosperity within that, yes, I have more than what I require for my family, for my extended family, and for my society. And also I'm able to take care of the nature around. I'm able to produce through sustainable processes, ensuring prosperity for both, for my family and for the nature. So we can clearly see that there is a need for such a solution-centric approach, which we find missing many times in the current education system. If we try to look at the syllabus from primary to higher education, seldom we talk about relationship and right understanding. And most of the time we talk about physical facilities. I hope you are able to see this. Now, once we are able to see the need for human values-based education, then we can also try to make out the basic guidelines. So we need to be clear how we can decide whether something is missing, something is valuable or not. If something is given through education, how can you say that this is valuable? And whether can the value be universal? So this is something to be investigated. This is something to be explored. So one basic guideline of value education would be that the content needs to be universal, which essentially means that the content needs to be applicable to all human beings, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, religion, nationality, and so on. And the content has to be universal. It needs to be applicable to all human beings at all times, at all places, and at all, so at all times and at all places. Secondly, it has to be rational. That is, it has to be amenable to logical reasoning. It can't be based on just do's and don'ts, should and shouldn't, or it can't be just a code of dictum. Thirdly, it has to be verifiable, which means the student is able to verify what has been said in the form of proposals on one's own right. And then the student is also able to validate it in their living. So when I verify the proposal within and also validate it in my living, then it becomes part of my understanding. So this is very much necessary that whatever is taught in terms of human values goes as a proposal, and the student is also able to, student is authorized and student is empowered to verify and validate it. Finally, the fourth one, that is that it has to be leading to harmony. So essentially, we all aspire to be happy, and that also in continuity, right? So, and with little exploration, we can see that happiness is nothing but to be in harmony within. When I'm in harmony within, when I have harmony with my relationship, and then when I'm in harmony in my participation in the society and in nature, I feel happy within. So whatever is taught through human values, it needs to lead to harmony. And that is what we are able to see in our lives also, that more we are trying to explore the content, the greater we are able to explore, able to experience that harmony within, which in turn allows us to foster harmony within our families also. So values that enable us to live with peace and harmony within our own self and as well as with others will only be part of this human value. In conclusion, we can say that the need for human values is felt globally. Today, there is a need to put efforts towards that. There is a need to prioritize values over skills in education. And going by the solution-centric approach, we can see that there is a need for this holistic perspective where the fulfillment in life can be addressed. With the right understanding in every child, we can build the capacity to live in relationship, and we can identify this need for physical facility, the skills and practice for sustainable production of more than what is required, and right utilization of physical facility. And all this will lead to the feeling of prosperity. And then we also looked at the guidelines for such holistic value-based education, which is universal, rational, verifiable, and leading to harmony. So with this, I would like to conclude here and call upon Professor Rajneesh Arora-ji to moderate the panel discussion on the need for holistic value-based education. Professor Arora is Chairman NCCIP, National Coordination Committee for Induction Program under AICTE. He is also he was former Vice Chancellor at Punjab Technical University. He has done his PhD from IIT Delhi in Integrated Energy Systems. I welcome you, Professor Arora-ji. Over to you. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, Lipika ji. We are here for the panel discussion on need for holistic value-based education. We have our panelists now. We have Dr. A. Geeta. Geeta ji has joined, or I think Geeta ji is not coming.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I'm here.
Okay. So,
Lipika ji, you need to shuffle. Move the slides.
Dr. Geeta ji is currently Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Government Arts and Science College, Avinashi, Tamil Nadu. She has done her PhD, MPhil, MSc and BSc in Computer Science. She is associated with UHV since November 2020. We have the next panelist with us, Dr. Manisha Gupta ji. Manisha Gupta ji did her BCom, MBA Finance, MCom and PhD in Finance. She worked as professor and director at Punjab Institute of Management and Technology, Khanna, Punjab. She is associated with Universal Human Values for last 4 years. Our next panelist is Dr. Vikas. Dr. Vikas is Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department. He is at Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal, NIT Bhopal. He did his BE, MTech and PhD in Mechanical Engineering. He is actively involved in value education since September 2017. Welcome, Dr. Vilas Varudkar. Our next panelist, Dr. Ella Dedia. She is Director of Anveshanam Foundation. It's a Section 8 company. She did her PhD in Textile and Fashion Technology, involved with UHV related activities since July 2020. She is joining us today from California. She is based at California. So I welcome all our panelists. We have all heard from Lipika ji regarding a point of view of universal human values. We have to discuss on this proposal in this session. So first I'll invite Dr. A. Geeta to put her views regarding this proposal, and then we'll have views from other panelists also. So I request Dr. A. Geeta to participate. Welcome, Geeta ji.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Rajneesh Arora. Yes, indeed, it was a very good keynote session presented by Ms. Lipika. I do agree with that at the current scenario, there is a need for value-based education. We are not denying the purpose of skills, which is very much required in the current scenario. All the skills, all the technology are required, but the skills have to be supplemented with the values. Only when the skills are supplemented with the values, it is going to take a purposeful and meaningful solution. So I do agree with the proposal that the current scenario is lacking the value-based education. Particularly, the current education system is not discussing about right understanding. When we are talking about skills, we are spending more on physical facilities. And we also know that physical facilities are essential, but that is not going to give a fulfilling life. So to have a fulfilling life, to lead a fulfilling life, one needs to have right understanding. And this right understanding can be provided by value-based education. So one can live a fulfilling life. So this is my reflection, Dr. Rajneesh ji. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to hear from other panelists also. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So you are muted, sir.
Sir,
So you're muted.
Okay, sorry, it was muted. Thank you, Geeta ji. You have rightly put up all the points regarding right understanding, relationship, and importance of facilities. But the priority of values over skills, it is an important kind of thing. Now I invite our next panelist, Dr. Manisha Gupta ji, to put forth her views about this proposal of need for universal human values in education. Over to Manisha ji.
Manisha
You
ji,
are on mute.
Very good morning to everyone, to all the panelists. Yes, first of all, I would like to thank the conference people to invite me for this panel session. Yes, I strongly see the need for value education in the present context in the education. And it has been rightly pointed out that education should facilitate understanding of both what to do and how to do in our students. If I see the present context, present education, we are facilitating on the second aspect more, and we are actually focusing on teaching and helping students learn how to do without focusing on or clarifying them or helping them to understand what to do. So we can see all the problems around. So it is like what has been said in the this initial introductory session by Miss Lipika. So for me, I can see the need of value education, and I can see the priority of values over skills. So it in our country, India, AICT has taken up this initiative and introduced value education in the technical education. And we are, it's a pleasure to teach human values as a course in our college. Since we are affiliated to AICT. So we are coming up with this, we are teaching this subject, and the need for value education is certainly there, because we can see that students are, so much technology is being developed, so much research is going on, but without any direction. So in order to see all these research and technology to be developed and with some purpose or with some direction, so value education needs to be there. So I very well go with the this panel discussion and see the need of value education in the present context in education. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Manisha ji. You have rightly put up your views regarding the need of values over skills. For this first question of the priority of values over skills, I'll invite Dr. Vilas to put up his views. Then we'll have the next round of our questions. Dr. Vilas, over to you.
Very good morning to Rajnish sir and all the panelists here. Am I audible?
Yes, you're very much audible.
Yeah. So I also completely agree with Lipika ji and Manisha ji and Geeta ji as well. So we all see that we have been seeing this the importance of values, and all our policymakers are certainly looking for it, and we have incorporated in NEP 2020 as well, and SDGs what we have formed. And we see that in case if we are not changing the value system over here, we will not be able to really live happily on this planet. So what I too see that the need for this value education and is certainly very important. And what we were early having a belief that these values are can be caught only and it can't be taught. But by seeing various experiments over here in the last decade or so, we certainly can see that these values can be taught as well. And for that, certainly we need to prepare our teachers as a role model for the students. And then only we will be able to certainly go through it. So I too think that the need for this value system particularly is very much important throughout the world. Thank you, Rajnish sir, for calling me for this.
Thank you, Vilasji. Now I invite Dr. Ella Dedia regarding how do you feel that holding higher priority of values over skills in our education system, and how it will impact the current our education system. Then we'll take the next question, the next round for all the panelists. Dr. Ella, please.
So if we look at our own current situation, And we can see the education is increasing. As far as the degrees are concerned, courses are concerned, many courses have multiplied by leaps and bounds. A lot of technology, a lot of development, infrastructure, number of colleges, institutions, everything is on the growth part. But if we really look at the current scenario, the society in which we are living, we are all living in fear. We can also see that our objective in life for ourselves, who are faculty as well as students, our focus has become more on pay packages, accumulation, such that the family ties have got broken up. We can see that there is less of happiness in families. Within us also, if we see, we can see there is stress, strain, there are broken homes, crime is increasing. If we look at the scenario around us, we don't see the growth in values. So if this current education, which is growing as what we see it, as what we consider it, if that was on the growth path, then shouldn't our society have become better? So since it has not been better, and all of us have gone through about 20 years or more of education, but still we see that the value system has gone down, which means that values will need to be included in the education system and they need to be taught. And as my co-panelist Vilashi has mentioned, a lot of experiments which have been done in India by the UHV Foundation, we can see that, and the AICT, we can see the results of it in the academic institutions who have practicing it as an education subject. So I'm very sure about it that those skills are important. No doubt they're important to run your normal life, to bring your physical facilities, which you also require. That's also required. But we cannot have only that as our focus. So if we have value-based education, skill education, I think that is something that can take us ahead to lead a better society, to have a better human world in which we can all live. Because the current scenario, if we ask any one of us, I don't think we are all living fearlessly. So I do think that value-based education is the answer. It can be taught in the institutions. It can be learned by us, and we can also facilitate this learning with the students. So I agree to it that education really needs to be reformed and we need a value-based education. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaji. Thank you very much. So to all my viewers and listeners, because a good number of people have joined us on Zoom, and many of you are listening to this session on YouTube also. You can send your questions on chat box, and our technical team can share it with me. Then I can ask those questions to our panelists also. We will have at the end of the panel discussion, where you can even ask directly your questions by raising your hands. All the panelists have said that yes, there is a need for value-based education. I would like to ask the next question. All of you have done some experiments, sharing things, sharing values with the students in your classrooms. As you all know that it cannot be done by just ordering to the students or just by preaching. You can give some questions regarding your experiments with the value education in a self-explorative method, where you encourage the students to do self-exploration about these proposals and what kind of results you could find among students. So I would like to ask the panelists to share their views regarding the implementation of this value education, holistic value-based education in your classrooms. So I'll start with Dr. Geeta. She started this panel discussion. So here regarding the implementation part, just regarding your own experiences in your classrooms. Dr. Geeta, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajnish, for calling me again for the second round of discussion. It's very nice. Yeah, we have implemented in our institution, and I could see so many visible changes among the students. As you have rightly pointed out, it is self-explorative. So thereby, since the contents are shared as proposals, slowly students have started to explore within themselves. Initially, there was little bit resistance. They were not able to explore within themselves. But slowly, after time passes on, they have started to explore within themselves. And there are some visible changes, transformations I myself able to see within my own students. As a tutor, after nearly 1 year of this sharing of UHV proposals, the visible changes I could note among my students are there is a drastic reduce in the indisciplined activities, particularly during the exams. We could see so many malpractices being carried out by my own students. Though I was sharing them before UHV, but there was not significant change. But after UHV proposals were shared, I could see that the malpractices have drastically reduced. Malpractices have drastically reduced. Also, latecomers. Students are responsible. They have become self-referential. And now I could see for myself the latecomers in my institutions has drastically reduced. They are responsible. They are coming to class on time, and they are keenly listening to the contents that is shared in the classrooms. They are able to see their responsibility. Even when we are having a parent-teachers meeting, I could hear many of the parents is happily sharing that their children have changed. They are specifically quoting many examples like the children started to help their parents in their work. Some of the girls and boys, they are helping their mother in bringing water, in cooking. So all these, the parents are happily sharing with us during the parent-teachers meeting. So I'm very happy that
Thank
this
you, Geeta
value-based
ji.
education. Oh, thank you, Dr. Rajnish, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Just because of shortage of time, because all the
Yeah, I
panelists
got
are
it.
giving time. Now I'll ask the same question to our next panelist, Dr. Manisha Gupta ji, regarding her experiences. Let us be brief about that. I know that you have so many to share, so many things to share, but because of the shortage of time, we'll just be brief. Manisha ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Yes, earlier I was of the view that the values can be taught from the parents, from the teachers. But seeing the response of the efforts done by UHV Foundation and AICT by introducing this course on UHV, which fortunately we as teachers are teaching in our college. So the perception has got changed. Now I could see, because I have got the opportunity to share this content with the students. So I could see that in the first year of my teaching, I was, trying to share this on the basis of moral education only. But I could see that students were not interested to listen to all those things. But more and more I listened to the videos and the video on how to share values, I got to know that this content is to be share in an explorative manner with the students through proposals. So I could see a change, and I could see that students were able to listen to the things when it is put forward in the form of proposals to them, and when they are asked to explore it on their own. Like, for example, a very small example that I asked them, what is acceptable to you, to live in harmony or to live in disharmony? So they promptly replied that they want to live harmony, though they were able to see that they are not living in harmony, on a continuous basis, but still they could see that this is naturally acceptable too, and we need to work upon them. with my own kids also. My son is he's in +1, and I could see the time from like since last 2 years. I am I'm trying to propose him, and earlier I was dominating. I was not proposing him, so he was very reactive, very irritating with me. But now he sees to the proposals and try to, like, he is having high more weight. So now he gets up early in the morning on his own and goes to walk, and he is able to explore the benefits of what mama is saying. So he's doing becoming self-disciplined. So this is what I can see. Even my I'm sharing it with my own daughter. Earlier, I used to be very strict with her, so she was very irritating and was not at all accepting my views. But now, after this UHV, she's all her problems she's sharing with me. So this change I could see when things are shared on the basis of proposals, and if I'm asking them to explore what is right and what is naturally acceptable to them. So this is my
Thank
take.
you. Thank you, Manisha ji. You have added, in addition to the experience with your students, you added the experience regarding your children also. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Vilas to share his views on this issue.
Thank
Your
you, sir.
experience with.
Thank you again, sir. So, as Geeta Madam and Manisha Madam has already shared their views on the need and particularly their experiences with the students. The same scenario I can see in our students as well. So, to whomsoever students we have shared this content, and that the value systems and UHV completely UHV workshop, they have attended SIPs as well. So what I can see that exploration has begun in them as well, and from making them disciplined to self-discipline, they have moved up a lot, and you can see that in their behavior as well. Earlier, we certainly in the class we have to discipline them, but now we can find them self-discipline in the class as well. And as various malpractices being observed in the examination as well. So what we can see, and I think the certain takeaways certainly they take from various workshops as well. So what I can see that when asking about the certain students, they say that I had taken this content very seriously, and some students are showing their takeaways as well. So when I asked them what takeaways you had certainly taken from this workshop, so they mentioned that I want to be happy. So my next all actions will be in regard to that only, that I want to be happy. I want to be happy. So it keeps on reminding them that I want to be happy only. And my all actions, if they are not leading to the happiness, certainly I will not do this. So these are some of the experiences I feel.
Thank you, Dr. Vilas. Now I'll invite Dr. Ella Dedia to share her experiences regarding the education of values to the students through self-exploration.
Yeah, sorry that my video is not able to, it's suddenly gone off. But yes, I'll be happy to share my experiences. My experiences have been that the students, when we have discussed values, initially when we tell them that we are going to discuss, they feel it's old-fashioned. But when we start discussing, they get very interested, because they say that nobody has ever discussed us in any of those education program, and we always discussed others, we always discussed material. So they feel very nice, and especially when we get to relationship, when we are discussing the values of relation, that is something that they cherish a lot, because at that age they have a lot of other peer pressure, those youth related teenage with between parents, they have those relationship problems. So they call it as generation gap, but when they go through the program, they understand that there is nothing like generation gap. It is lack of understanding between on our side about the others. So they feel that it's very helpful to them. It restores a lot of their old relationships. Some of the students have shared stories where one of the student I remember said that was not talking to her father for more than 12 years because she had understood that the father is not treating the mother well. But over the discussion and communication, she understood what everything was, and she restored her relationship with her father. And that gave her a lot of happiness. It gave her a new connect, a new, you can say, a new aim to look forward to in life. So definitely value education with the students has been very productive, and students have really appreciated it. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaji. Now in view of the shortage of time, I'll put up three questions to my panelists. Number one is, should we start this value education in higher education, or should we start it from childhood itself? And at the same time, people talk that there's no need of value education in technical education. Technical education has only focus on skills. So your views regarding the placement of values in technical education in higher education. Then the second is regarding the number of credits given to these courses, to the course on universal human values. People say that this number of credits is very high. To have 3 credits for value education is not possible. That kind of things come up in the discussions when we talk to the curriculum committees or board of studies or academic council. And then regarding what measures can be taken to have more impact on our students, your suggestions regarding what more to be done in our value education program. So the 3 questions I'm putting you simultaneously. Number one is regarding starting value education during the higher education courses, or value education in technical courses, or regarding the number of credits which are required for this value education courses, and your suggestions to make it more impactful regarding. So this will be the last round. Then we will have questions from the viewers, the delegates who are there, who are listening to discussion from all the panelists. So I'll again start with Dr. Geeta from Tamil Nadu. He has joined us. So Dr. Geeta, I invite you, your views on these 3 questions.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Rajneesh. Let me quickly address all the 3 questions briefly also. Yes, my suggestion is right from childhood, it would be better if this value-based education is implemented right from childhood. We are not denying technical education. On par with technical education, value-based education can be introduced from childhood education at the earliest. Regarding the second question about the credits, yes, the autonomous bodies, the institutions, the universities have to given more focus on the credits, because as we have understood from the keynote session and all from the panelists, that values play a higher role than skills. So my suggestion is nothing wrong in giving 3 credits to UHV contents while it is shared in the higher education curriculum. And regarding the third, what more to be done? Yes, more like we can have more and more FDPs, more and more SCPs. Students can be encouraged to do universal value courses in MOOC, NPTEL, as well as minor degrees. Thereby, it can be made more impactful. We can encourage the students to explore more so that they can see their benefits and they themselves will undergo such courses in the future. Thank you, Dr. Rajneesh. These are my suggestions regarding the questions. Thank you so much.
Now I'll move to our next panelist, Dr. Manisha Gupta ji, regarding all these three questions on credits and higher education and your suggestions to make it more impactful.
Yes, I could see that value education is desirable. So we can start it from even from the school education, and we can also go up for the higher education. The earlier it starts, it will be helpful. In fact, feasibility, wherever we find the feasibility, we can start with the value education. If it's there in the school, it must continue in the higher education also. If it is in the school, if we are starting it in the school, so we can have it later as value-added course. But because right now it is not, it has not been started as yet. We are seeing the need of starting the value education. So it can start from higher education, because when we start it from the school education, we ultimately have to talk to the adult people, the parents, the teachers. So in case we are starting it from higher education, then we are dealing with the future parents, future policymakers, future teachers. So we can initially start with it with higher education. And also because presently students are not seeing the importance of values, so it must be started as a credit course. And if we are considering values on higher priority than skills, then 3 credits at least must be given to the course. Like there is a saying that we have to first of all bring the person who is thirsty to the well, and if he finds the water good, then he himself will take that water. So in order to make the student learn, inculcate values, we have to introduce it in higher education as a 3 credit course. This is my viewpoint. And to make it better, like it is the teachers, it is the faculty who has to teach it to the students. So essentially, as a teacher, if I am imbibing value within myself, I am ensuring my living with values. So students will definitely be connected. They will get connected. We have case studies regarding students connecting with the teachers in whom they found transformation after exploration through these value-added inputs. So, and apart from classroom teaching, projects and internships can be designed for them so that they can verify the proposal in their living and validate these proposals. So all these things can be valuable for us to, implement the value education. Thank you so much. Actually,
Thank you, Manish. I'm sorry, my connection was lost for the timing. In the meantime, I'll ask the viewers that you have seen a poll on your screen. There's a question. I'll request all the delegates to put their views after listening to these keynote address and the panelists. What are your views on these questions? So that will add value to the whole discussion. Now I'll ask Dr. Vilas to put forth his views on these questions of higher education, technical education, number of credits, and your suggestions.
Thank you again, sir. So I also agree with Geeta ma'am and Manisha ma'am that certainly we have various courses on skill development in technical education. And certainly, should we start with the higher education particularly, or can we go to school education as well? Certainly, at both levels, I think we should go. But initially, as Manisha ma'am has already mentioned, that these students which are studying particularly at present in higher education will be certainly the next parents in a few years or so, and next policymakers in few years or so. So by imparting really value-based education to them, and as a credit part, certainly we will be making more responsible parents, more responsible policymakers towards the world. So starting at higher education certainly seems to be a very good idea at presently. And later on, certainly we can move ahead with the school education as well. And further imparting a credit course to it. just sharing the small theory that already we are implementing it at SIP level, but not as a credit code presently. But last week we had a conference with a one-day workshop with our director and deans on this universal human values. And our director too insisted that this course is a very important course, and this should be included as a credit course from the next semester or next year, admission year. So we all see that it is really important, and we are certainly are imparting technical education, skill-based education, and we are seeing the impact over the years. It's the value system throughout the world is degrading, and with skill part certainly we have increased. We have a growth, what we can see, but what exactly the growth is, what development is, we are really stand still. So certainly this initially we can start with a credit course, and we too are in support of this. Thank you, Renish sir, for calling me again. Renish sir, you are
Thank you,
muted.
Dr. Vilas.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Vilas. Now I request Dr. Ella to share her views on these questions, and then we'll move to the questions from the delegates. Dr. Ella, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajneesh. Definitely, my views are that it has to carry proper credits. In fact, we must move on to an entire education which is integrated with values. So to begin with, we can have these separate courses with due credits, because eventually at that age and that stage and the kind of the environment that is created is marks and all that becomes very important to the student. They give more importance to subjects which have got credits, which carry marks and so on. So I think if there are due credits given to it, everybody takes it more seriously, whether it's right from the higher authority to the student. And taking these subjects at this stage at higher education is very important. One is because they are going to be parents very soon, and that they are going to be the future society. So definitely it is very important that these subjects are initiated at the higher education level, and maybe gradually we can move on to the younger ages. So it's I think overall I agree to what the co-panelists have said. They have in fact already mentioned all these important aspects, and therefore without any repetition, I would say it'll be good to find out the questions from the audience, and then we can respond to them.
Thank you. Thank you, Elaji. Can I have the result of the polls now, or we will have later on? The technical team can.
Dr. Kumar Sambhav has raised hand.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Kumarji, you have raised your hand.
One question, Professor Rajneesh, that you have headed Punjab Technical University, and you headed at a time when UHV was being initiated in the universities. So how did you come to see the need for this kind of input, and how could you, or what were the major challenges that you faced when you initiated this program in the university?
Thank you, Kumarji, just asking this important question. Yes, at that time, it helped to me regarding my experience as placement officer in Guru Nanak Dev University before becoming vice chancellor here. When the companies were coming to select technical students from campus through campus recruitments, they were telling me that as far as technical skills are concerned, we can teach them at our own place. We know that there's a gap between university syllabus and the requirement of industry at present. But as far as the things which are related to their attitude, their behavior, their group behavior, their exposure towards teamwork. That is major thing which we cannot teach them in our industry environment. That has to be taught in school or colleges. So if such courses are not there, we feel a lot of issues in our industry. So that was the thing, that was a need in my mind, that I must have some interaction with my students where the importance of these issues can be discussed. And I found this Universal Human Values course very beneficial for us. And as Manisha ji's and other panelists told, that the issues of indiscipline, the issues of attendance, their seriousness in studies, all these things help, and it helped in campus placements also. I could see directly. And one more issue which was there during that time, that people were asking questions to me, why in technical education you are introducing these things? And when I showed them my impact in campus placements and other things, so it was very easy to take it up forward. And even not only in BTech, but we could start some MTech programs also. So thank you, Kumarji, for asking this question and sharing my brief experience about this. Can we have other questions or poll results with us?
The poll results are there. They have been shared. So only one response we got, and that is for choice 3, assigning credits necessary for any course.
Okay. That was my response.
Okay, so maybe the question has not reached all the panelists. That could be the. I typed
Yes.
between and then launched it.
We have to take care of it.
We were not able to mark our vote.
Okay.
I use my mobile to scan QR code, and I submitted it through QR code on from my mobile. Okay, Kumarji, if you allow, we can close it, or we can discuss
Two things like
on air or in backstage about what are the issues we have to keep in mind during the final thing on 22nd. It will be on 22nd, this first session of NEET.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two things need to be done.
Any comments regarding?
I hope I'm
Yes.
audible.
Yes, Kumarji.
One thing is that you have to sum up all the reflections that were made by the panelists regarding your question. So briefly, you have to give a gist of that. And then you have to announce for the break and then the next session to follow. Two things are required to be done.
Okay, I'll do the announcement, and I think I'll put forth all the 5 questions in the initial round also, and we can have one round, and I'll then put briefly what the gist, what
Kumarji,
the panel.
I have a suggestion. It won't be good for Dr. Rajneesh Arora ji to make the announcement for the next session. The person who's introducing him should do that announcement.
Okay, fine. You are saying the UHV point of view person?
Yeah, whoever is that, that person should do, because it won't be good for a moderator to do that announcements.
Okay, then we can invite the anchor in that case.
Whoever, one of the, but not Dr.
I think anchor should announce for the break. That will be better.
That will be better. Yeah. But you can just give a gist of the responses.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
of course.
That I will do.
Nice. It is time also. It is 12:30 now. So maybe then formally we conclude, and then we can stop the live streaming and then discuss.
Okay, that is good. Enter backstage.
Yeah, in fact, we can go backstage also.
Yeah, it's better to go backstage.
Lipika Didi, you need to stop the YouTube live now, as you are host.
Was it? I have no idea.
Just give me the host control.
Okay.
Thank you.